Brought your Red Bull, but you obviously brought those. Yeah. You don't have to get into this world. You can lean your seat back and go to sleep. Oh, no, or you just gonna join me?
Of course, dude.
All right.
Suffer.
Fuck it, let's go. Thanks, Bubs. We're here playing Craigslist roulette. Who knows if the guy's gonna show up? We just came all the way here for Whataburger.
4 hours.
4 hours for Whataburger. Hear that weird thing where Google Maps tells you to go one place and Apple Maps tells you to go another? I don't know. So I went somewhere kind of in the middle. I don't know how much I can film of like the interaction because it's kind of weird. That guy doesn't know I'm coming here.
Camera.
Yeah.
Face.
Oh, hey, Bubs. I'm probably gonna have some weird cut to my garage and actually reveal it. I've been a degenerate and I haven't had a Supermoto for a long time. This is it. This is gonna be the new Supermoto project. Now, before I reveal this, I just gotta say a couple things. It's a little rough, okay? But I swear I can fix it, all right?
I got this ultimate set of tools. I can fix it.
You guys should probably guess what it is in the comments, but if I tell you to do that, there's just gonna be people that just don't, you know, they're just gonna, oh, I didn't know, but I guessed right. You didn't know.
3, 2, 1.
Can't keep me down, lost my thoughts, feel like I could drown. No, no, can't have it now, buried so deep I'm below the ground.
Wait a minute!
The keen observer would recognize this bike. It actually is sort of known in our little community.
I was loading that bike up, right? We're loading it up into the back of my truck, and the guy looks at me and goes, "Hey, you're Jake the GardenSnake, aren't you?" I said, "Yes." And he goes, "Oh man, you probably would recognize this bike," and starts explaining to me how. And I like, my jaw dropped. Pretty odd coincidence, but it's just a coincidence. I didn't like actively seek this thing. You may be thinking, Jake, you had a 2013 WR450, fuel injected, electric start. 450. You just got a kickstart carbureted bike. Yes, I did. I'm not going to tell you that's a smart thing to do. It's probably not. Not only is it something I always wanted, but it's like it's mechanical and raw. And I just like that. I like the experience of that. Just like on the exact opposite end, I've always had fun riding electric bikes around. A lot of people seem to have like a really harsh attitude about them, where I'm like, hey, you know, I think it's a fun experience. I rode the Alta electric Supermoto recently, and that thing was. It's neat. It's an experience. It's literally going to be like 100% opposite of this, which is just mechanical, raw, fuel. Yeah. The Big Red Pig, man, it's always been on my mind. This has always been a bike I wanted. All right, boys. She's fucking rough. Look at the fairing flapping in it. It's a lot more work than I wanted. I don't know. I was planning on tearing it down pretty far anyway. The good thing is the price came down, which made it worth it. We even got some Supermoto rims back there.
Supermoto-ish
rims, but they are Excel hoops and like a hub and like a half a hub. Like it's not even basically no hubs. Here's part of the spokes. We have a cup.
It looks rough though. It has the worst headlight I've ever seen in my entire life.
What do you think of that cut fender?
The fender looks like Donald Duck's. Or
can't see.
My apologies.
You're gonna get me cut off of YouTube. They're gonna Alex. Don't say that. There's just a mess.
There's just a mess of wires hanging out the side.
I don't know if we can see. Now you can't see the horn from
There's
here.
a air horn can just attached to the side of the light.
On the side. So that's the actual horn. So obviously.
Underneath the tail light, there's wires just hanging inches from the rear wheel.
I don't know what those are to and why.
He couldn't explain it either.
He didn't know.
There's definitely oil on the bike. Immediately.
Yeah. By winter time. It does work though. I swear it does. Here, look. We'll get it running here. It says take one good kick. I swear. That's all it's gonna need. Yeah, it's just 4 or 5. It's not Basically, you've got a carbureted 650 that's water cooled with a 5-speed. This was the Baja race bike, and they make pretty kick-ass street supermotos. They make about the same power as a 450 motocrosser, but about twice the torque. It needs a whole lot of work. This is not going to be like a 3-4 video build series. It's going to be a number of videos. I can't even guesstimate how many right now. It's got some interesting mods here, like this old school headlight that's kind of, you'll find this a very common theme. There's some of the bolts are there and most of the ones that aren't right. It's got some BS Supermoto fender, even though it's not in Supermoto trim. This is literally the horn right now. It actually is street legal. I didn't tell you all that. It is plated, but I don't know how I got it plated because half the shit is not right. There's not even a kill switch on it right now. There's wires hanging everywhere. These are leaking, but I believe the engine is in good shape. I don't think that's a major problem with it. It only has 8,000 miles. They're pretty reliable, actually. I mean, it's a race bike, you know? I mean, it was a race bike. No quotations. It was a race bike. Yeah, but it was a Baja race bike. It was meant to be ran wide open for 1,000 miles at a time. So they're actually pretty good engines. They're pretty strong. The wiring, a little bit shit. We dealt with this with the ZX6R, so we'll deal with it again. It's got one of the mega tanks on it. We're gonna have to get rid of this thing because this is hilarious. So I don't need the big rally Baja tank on this thing. I just need the normal tank. You kind of wonder what you're going to find underneath here. I know the radiators are bent. It's hilarious. Everything I touch is disgusting. This tool, pretty much all we do is we're going to see how much pressure the cylinder makes going up and down. A leak down test could also tell us a little bit more, but this is a pretty good one just to get a rough idea of the condition of the motor. You want to put the spark plug though back in and ground it somewhere, because if you don't, you can blow the coil out. I'm going to hold the throttle wide open and I'm going to have to kick it through a few times. I'm going to put a boot on it real quick. We got 150 PSI. I haven't looked up the spec for this bike, but I'm sure that's good. I'll put the spec in here. Most likely don't need to rebuild the motor. We're just going to be doing a tune-up on it, valve adjustment, spark plugs, carb rebuild, possibly replacement, blah, 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 you know. Fix the oil leaks, perhaps. It's definitely getting like to a state where the more I take it apart, the more I go, okay. Probably a bigger job than most will want to take on. I made a small little list here of parts. Supermoto rims, tires, brakes, forks, seals and bushings. Same with the shock. Swing arm and linkage seals and bearings. Skid plates beat up, need new skid plate, axle sliders, radiators, guards and hoses. Carb rebuild kit, possibly carb upgrade, headers, head bearings, dipstick, all the plastics, seat. We have an aftermarket seat, but I'm not a big fan of it. Gas tank, don't want the big safari tank. Air filter, gas filter, dual sport light kit, spark plug, chain sprockets, foot pegs, handlebars, risers, grips, and guards. Whole clutch lever and perch, which also has to have the whole decomp valve thing in there. Some kind of dash for it. Rear mud flap, it's missing the little thing off the airbox. Graphics kit, that's way down the line. Chain guides, fuel petcock, yeah, I found the petcock slowly dripping. Fork socks, clutch cable, mirror, and a radiator fan. But just a few parts. Of course, that doesn't include any of the labor stuff we have to do as well. At this point, I think the easiest thing to do is just go ahead and start tearing it down. We'll probably be adding to the list as we do that. Let's just jump into it. This is a f***ing mess. I just realized this has got quick disconnect pins down here. This is actually kind of cool because what this was meant to do is these guys would be racing, right? Right before it's getting dark, they pull into a pit, probably get changed riders, get new fuel, new tires, and they pop the whole headlight assembly off. It's kind of badass. I've gone tucked her back over here in this corner, doing our best to stay organized. Obviously, we have a lot of parts and a lot more that we have to come up with, so I'm gonna have to get to work on this at some point. The Supermoto wheels, I know I mentioned that in the video, but I didn't mention, let me show you real quick. So when I bought the bike, I also bought these Excel outer hoops. I do have some spokes in that cup down there. I showed that in the video. It's a 5-inch. I mean, those got to be powder coated, and well, we got to sand them down, sandblast them, get hubs for them. It does have some spokes, but they're kind of, I'll probably have to get new spokes. So I don't know if I'm going to use those. I guess there's an option. We're also doing that shark helmet giveaway. I'll be announcing that next video. So if you haven't done that yet, go check out that video, and why don't you do it, because it's just a chance to win a helmet. One thing I am going to do though for this project is we're going to have a special shirt we're going to release. It's going to look something like this. The XR650R is known as the Big Red Pig. So we came up with this pretty funny shirt here. My mother actually came up with these pigs. If you look closely, those are sort of like Honda wings, like the old school logos on the pigs. I thought that was the funniest thing ever. So we're gonna have that shirt available while this project is going on. Any bucks we make off of that will go to help funding this project. Don't feel like you have to, but if you want to, it's a big thing. If you want to do it, they said 100% of the profits will go to the bike while we're working on it. That's video, I guess, 1 in the books. We're gonna end the video like this. Ah, that didn't work.